Situation update for you. We're here in the lobby at the Tucson store, which is actually a huge win because we could have been very stranded last night. So could have been a very expensive tow. So we're here waiting to find out how to get this thing back on the road. Hopefully we'll know something soon. As you can see, I'm not in Tucson anymore. I'm actually in my garage in our other Model Y, our 2025 previous generation Model Y. And I must not have been in the mood for filming. I don't know why, but I don't have a lot of details captured. So I want to run you through everything. You're going to know everything that's wrong with the car in today's video. Instead of doing one 3-hour video, I broke this down into pieces just to make this more digestible, but you also got to experience the highs and the lows that we did in real time, because every stretch between chargers was a high and a low. It was a roller coaster the entire way. So hopefully you felt a piece of that too. It was not great, but here's the situation. What ended up happening is that level 2 charger from the night before, it actually started cycling every 5 minutes. So when I woke up, I had 27%. So I gained 11% battery overnight from that level 2 charger. So obviously cycling on and off the entire night is not good. And it does turn out we had a battery problem. And what happened is we hit the front sway bar so hard that when we went airborne, because of that, all of the ricocheting that happened, it jumbled something inside of the battery pack. So although we don't have a puncture from underneath it or any major dents or anything like that, something shook so hard in that battery that made it kaput. So that battery can't be serviced in this way, so the battery needed to be replaced. In addition, there were a number of other components that needed to be replaced. Most of it was very superficial though, like a lot of the plastic covers underneath the car, those were all listed. And then there were some items that wouldn't be known until this thing got torn apart, which is high voltage connectors and things like that that were on the actual list. So all together, we're talking like $22,000 in damage. That wasn't my intent, is to show up with a $22,000 repair bill. This whole thing, the idea was to see if it could be done because we felt very confident in it. And I wasn't going to take over for something minor like some roadkill or some cardboard, which is basically what this looked like until it was too late. Now, for everybody who's a genius on the internet, if you would have yanked that wheel at the last minute, like you're suggesting your MacGyver skills would let you, you very well could have flipped that car and you actually could have killed somebody. All you can do when it's too late is to hold on, and that is what we did. So unfortunately, it's not a great situation, but it is what it is. And we were able to limp along and make it to Tucson. This was on Thursday. That video you just saw of me where I looked really tired, that was Thursday morning, September the 11th. That day, they ordered a new battery pack. And on Tuesday the following week, so call it 1, 2, 3 business days, car was ready for pickup. Now, I declined to repair a lot of the cosmetic things, but here's the best part of this story. And I can't thank the people at Tesla Tucson enough for this, for digging in deeper and really diagnosing the issues here. So what ended up happening is we had a cell imbalance, and this wasn't going to be able to be serviced, hence the new battery pack. The master tech, I followed up with him one more time because I was about to take pictures of the car and the damage, and he said, listen, I'm a master tech, but I don't know everything. So we all have this guy that we go to, and my guy, when we looked through this, he suggested we look at these older logs, and we did. There's actually history of this battery pack with a cell imbalance already happening before impact. So it could be argued, his words, that this impact only accelerated what was already happening. So this was likely about to happen anyways, regardless of the impact. And because of that, believe it or not, the battery pack was warranted. I cannot believe it. Absolutely saved me. And if it wasn't for them digging deeper and looking into those logs, I wouldn't have known to ask them to do that. And I would have been out quite a bit of money. I think the battery alone, parts and labor, we're talking $17,000 or $18,000 of that, something along those lines. And there was about $4,000 of other stuff that needed to be replaced. And that's the stuff that I didn't replace. Now, the repair we had at the muffler shop did not hold on that front sway bar. So I have to, when I get back to Tucson to pick this thing up, I've got to figure out how to get that attached permanently and securely. And I'm going to use rivets to do it. So we'll see how that repair goes together. But the car is sitting there ready, and I just need to book a flight to go pick it up, and we'll finish this trip out. We have every intention of continuing on. I may be a lot more conservative, however, in what I consider something that I'll take over for. All right, so here's the situation. Turns out I smoked the battery pack, but this was apparently an issue that was already happening quietly. I have never had a battery failure of any kind in a Tesla before, and this would be a first, and it happened in the first 12,000 miles. Now, here's what happened. So whatever was happening, this imbalance issue that was preventing us from charging, when we made contact with a solid object on the highway at about 75 miles an hour, that actually accelerated whatever was happening. So this was already happening before we hit it. Thank goodness, because that just saved me a huge bill. So I can't thank the folks here at Tesla down in where am I? Tucson. There we go. I can't thank the folks down at Tesla Tucson enough for taking care of us, getting us in first thing in the morning. This could have been so much worse. So the plan is now I'm going to fly home. I promised my wife to take her on a very special trip. So when I get back from that trip, battery should be here and the car should probably be ready to be picked up. That's the update for now. I'm so lucky. Thankful for my co-pilot Josh for being cool-headed and sticking it out with me through that. And thank you so much to the team at Tesla and at specifically the Tucson store, who was able to get us in first thing in the morning and all of that. And thanks to my wife for being super understanding, and everybody that has been tuning in. Couldn't do this without you guys. And trust me, for those who know everything under the sun on the internet, wrecking my brand new Model Y was not something I intended on doing in any way, shape, or form, nor did I intend on putting Josh or myself in harm's way or others. Unfortunately, this whole thing happened in a way that was worse than I could have anticipated, and thankfully nobody was hurt. Make sure you stay tuned. As soon as I get out there, I'm going to try, just like now, pump these videos out as soon as I possibly can, maybe even while we're on the road, to get you guys an update. There's probably going to be a few episodes of trying to get this car wrapped up, depending on what it's like when I pick it up. Maybe it won't really need much of anything, but nonetheless, I thank you all so very much for tuning in, and I look forward to sharing with you guys the ride back from Tucson up probably to Phoenix, then back to Tucson, then here to Florida. So we'll see you then.